Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, this is Dr. Keith McNally, and this is the Question Guy podcast. And I'm here with Ilona Seddik. Cool, because you
Right.
are you are from Russia,
Yeah.
and that's significant. And so I want to get your name right. I always want to get names right. That's so important to me. You have an incredible story to tell our audience today. So you've been through quite a lot, but just before I give you an opportunity to tell your story, you came from Russia. You're an attorney, so you are a lawyer out of Russia with a PhD. So I actually call you doctor. You are you are a doctor of law,
Yeah.
but that's not really why we're having this conversation. And I've not had a conversation with an attorney just yet, and I don't know if I will ever. But we're here to talk about your story. So you've moved here so you're in America. You're in
Mhm.
America now. You've moved here about 4 years ago, but your your problems or your issues or the story that you want to tell us happened long before you got here.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into that. So I think the story starts when about mid 20 2014 or so. So tell us your story.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Keith, for having me here. Yes, I'm Ilona Seddik, and a bit spoiler here. I'm a content marketing coach, so you hear a lot of twists in my story. I love stories. Plus, I have a degree in language and literature, so enjoy my
Well, we're gonna get because you wrote a book, and so we want to get
yeah.
to that book as well because that book really talks about your life,
Yeah,
even
and
though it's a fictional book.
yeah, it's not even one book. So so much is coming, guys. Listen up. You're quite right that it starts. Let's say it starts in 2014. When I have had my second baby, I fall into absolutely disaster called postpartum depression.
Oh, okay.
It's a it's a absolutely nightmare for me, darkest period of my life. Of course, psychologists will say to you that okay, it's syndrome. It's like it should say to me that it's not that bad. Believe me, that bad because at that point I was alone with two kids, two under two,
Mm.
and
You
I
were
was
alone with two kids, so no
yeah.
husband.
Husband, he's my provider of our
Okay,
family, how we can live. Because I at that point I left my job
okay.
as a corporate lawyer because I clearly understood that I could not raise my children. I mean, really raised my children.
You wanted to be a
Uh,
mom.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
and lawyers, I believe it's all the same in all over the world. They work so much hours a day, and I could just wave my kids in on weekends, and that's all I had
Mhm.
that I could have. But I wanted to raise them really because I love my kids. I wanted them, and this is always my dream, and this is always my wish, and that is why it was so hard to face that all that I wanted so badly when it comes to my life. I felt so devastated, so miserable, and in the darkest, really darkest period of my life, it's like all white and black, mostly black now, and even in my memory. Why that happens? Because of course, it's that set of reasons that you're emotionally, physically, psychologically drained. Plus, I'm a domestic violence survivor. It's more than 20 years ago it happened, but that was my mistake that I didn't deal with it
Mm.
properly. So I just ran away and under the rug, like, let's forget about this. It happened. Some bad things could happen with all of us. So
Right.
let's forget about this and let's keep moving. I was always good girl. So this image was so deadly sticked with me. So I should be
What
a
image would that be? So what were you trying to hide from?
mm, uh, the stigma that
Okay.
comes with the domestic violence survivor.
Okay.
We call
As a
this
victim.
domestic violence survivor. We call this, but I
Okay.
come up with the thought that first you should admit that you're a victim
Okay.
first, and then when you can admit that you're a victim, was a victim. In my case, it was nearly death experience, and I was lucky to have my life. That is why wish to have children was so thoughtful, so mature, because I really wanted to make from my life something greater than me. That I felt this gift
Okay.
thanks to this experience in brackets, of course.
Right.
And mm, when I didn't want to think about myself as a victim,
Right. But
but
you had two kids, you had two children.
yeah,
Then afterwards you experienced postpartum depression, and that
yeah.
put you into a really dark hole. But somehow you had to find a way to deal with that, to overcome that. Is that why you moved to the United States?
Uh, no, it was purely like all that happened later in my life
Okay.
after I have my kids. It's like magic. I don't know how to call this. Um, not mm, not sudden coincidence,
Okay.
something like this, because my husband, he's Arab, and we live in Russia. So at that point, our family had the thought that we could move from Russia
Okay.
at any point. So he had a job offer that he put his CV somewhere. You know, you always search for the best. He's a journalist, so
Okay.
in his field, it's like very natural, very um, organic decision that we made. That okay, we will move because he's journalist. We're moving. It's like
Right.
part of the deal.
Right.
So it was for broadcasting company here in America. So we thought, okay, we have 3 months to pack our bags. Let's do this. What the hell? Let's do this. And I want to outline that I've never, ever, ever been in America before. My first visit here, it's like for good.
Okay.
I'm landing here. It's like this is what I signed for.
Okay.
It's no
Good.
way back.
And that was 4 years ago. And so you've been here
Yeah,
for 4 years,
yeah,
but you can't be a Russian lawyer in America. That's not
of
even,
course.
I don't think that's possible.
No, no, it's of course there is a market, but it's so tiny, tiny one, and
Okay.
I really do not want to deal with this because I have kids. So if
Right,
I
right,
go exactly the same way, even here in America, like a lawyer path, it could be possible. I faced the same thing that I didn't want to have.
right, right. So what did you decide to do?
Um, it's the part that I survived from my depression, and I had a BA degree in language and literature, and
Cool.
I
From
exactly
where?
at that in Russia. I
Okay.
it's
So
it's
you're one heck of a smart lady.
Yeah, to move to America to have Russian corporate lawyer experience, Russian PhD in Russian language and literature BA degree,
Right,
come to America.
right,
Yes, the smartest decision ever. This is why it's like everything is like magically happens in my life. But believe me, it was at that point that I was not so happy as I am now because I faced like why it's like I planned this life absolutely another way. Like okay, I'm dealing with depression, education helps me. It's that I wanted always to deal with, to work with stories, literature, language. And I thought, okay, maybe Russian language is that people wanted to learn and be inspired of in America. like it's anyways, it's language of the United Nations.
Okay.
Again, it was 2019.
Uh-huh.
Nothing bad happened. So this is at that point, this was my idea. But I always wanted to write,
Hmm.
to tell the stories. I always did this, but very, very um, mysterious way. Like I writing diaries and
But
burn
diaries are
them,
fun.
and burn them, and
Ah,
stories, and like throw them. Like nothing happened. I'm a
okay.
lawyer. Like, okay, I'm a lawyer. Nothing happened. I
Okay.
wrote some good stuff, and I like
Oh, that's a
throw it
shame.
away.
But
It's
eventually something manifested.
Yeah, it's something that I could not keep it to myself
Hmm.
because I thought that experience that I could overcome the domestic violence survivor experience trauma even through postpartum depression. It's the precious thing that I have, my experience, how I can do this, how I can survive this and overcome and still feel joy and happiness in my life. I'm blessed to have a family, absolutely happily married. That's why I want to share this experience. And but I clearly understood that I could not make it like from a professional side. I'm not psychologist. I'm not even coach to deal with these things. All that I can do is to tell the story.
And you
Uh,
told it. You wrote it
yeah,
down.
yeah, and I did it in the novel. It's a
Yeah.
fiction because I thought that it's fiction is very automatic way to fix the problems because when you read, you feel the problem.
Hmm.
Only you could feel this problem, and later you can take this problem and deal with professionals. I mean, coaches, healers, psychologists, all the tools that you accessible to you, you can use.
So what's the name of your story? What's the name of your book? What's the name of the
Cahokia,
first book?
cahokia.
Spell that.
Cakhohea.
Kokia. I
Cahokia,
think I got
yeah.
it right. I'm gonna have to look that one up. So what happens? So did you place yourself as the main character, the main protagonist in the story? Are you the
Um,
as part of you the main protagonist?
yeah, I'm like once Flaubert in his Madame Bovary, the very famous novel, one of the my greatest novel, all French literature and the world literature. I believe that I love this story. He said once that I am Madame Bovary. So the thing is that I inside all characters. Part of me, I inside whole characters in the story. Um, Piece of me you can find everywhere.
Hmm.
I'm not the hero there or
Okay.
protagonist or antagonist. I'm everywhere because this is my story, how I deal with this, how I investigate so closely all sides from in toxic relationship and abusive relationship. It was men in the woman relationships. So I wrote it from two sides, from his side as abuser and
Right.
from her side as a victim, exactly as a victim. Because you cannot, as I said, you cannot deal with this problem if you not admit that you were a victim,
Right. Right.
and then you can be survivor to become a survivor mentally. I mean,
Well,
experientially.
can I ask, in the
Yeah,
book, does the lady survive?
it's open. It's open ending.
Okay.
I give you clues that it's like good end, it's happy end, but you have so much space to really think about how it could happen. You have the space to heal at the end with my main character.
Well, let me ask you this question. How
Yeah.
did you heal through the process of writing?
A lot, really a lot, because I put on the table all that I knew about this from the personal side, from the side when I communicate with other victims of domestic violence, survivors of domestic violence. I faced so much pain, and from it was from different perspectives there in the story. That is why I put all my experience that I have, bad and good one, uh,
Hmm.
everything in brackets. There is no bad and good experience, but anyways, I put there to give woman, my reader is a woman, understanding how it could develop, how it could happen, what leads to this, what hooks you have inside you that just waited for to be catched.
Hmm.
This is my main idea. So something inside you just waiting and begging for to come back to come. And it's not about blaming or none of this, of course not. But how I can deal with it, I faced my own demons. I faced my own pain. I faced my own past. It was very, very hard, but I do not hesitate about this any no minute regrets about
Okay.
this because that lead me to the place where I am now. And exactly my book leads me to this place because when I wrote my novel, Cahokia, I thought, as a BA degree in literature, I thought, okay, it's a good book. People will love it. People will buy it. Guess what?
Yes, no.
No, nobody cares.
Oh, no. We got to change that.
No, you know, as a now as a content marketing specialist and marketer, I understand clearly why it's not happened there because you need to put a lot of efforts to sell your product, to make the world hear about your mm, gifts, about your talents, about your products, about your experience. If we talk about influencers, you share just life experience with others,
Hmm.
some specific knowledge, anything that you have, you need to transfer to the world. And there are specific tools for this. And I had to educate myself through millions hours of courses how to make it happen. And while I'm this solving this problem, I come up with a best-selling book. And other women who saw my way, my path, they said, you did a great job. Few months and you're like on the top. How did you do this? I mean, not only books, but hey, could you look at my course? How we can manage it? How we can make world to see this?
Okay.
I feel that you have special talent at this. You can tell specific way because I know I see these reels how they make it. It's like how how it's happened there. Everybody just sold, and that is why I started
So,
my way.
so from your book, from what you've learned, from all of those experiences, you now empower other women to help them share their stories? What are you doing?
Not all only share their stories, of course, share their stories, but mainly my focus now is how to attract clients to your products that I make people care about you, about your story. If you sell your story, if, for example, you want to be a speaker, you want to be recognized, your main product is your story,
How do you do
your
that?
book through content. This is my powerful tool. I can tell the stories and the people they hear me. So I thought, okay, from book to book, it's too big distances between them, and I cannot communicate with people with such long periods of time because book, you need time to come up with idea to make it to, to create the book to
Hmm.
write it. So and on the daily basis, it's much easier, it's much more impactful, and I use tools of just let's convert your daily life into profitable content. That's all I ask now. It's very easy, very straightforward. Just who am I to correct your life and tell you what you should say, what should not say, how to come up, what makeup to put or not non-makeup, what colors. You already help other people.
Mm.
So let's rub it up and show the world how awesome you are. This is
So,
what I do.
so from postpartum depression, from domestic violence, you moved to America, you wrote a book, just one book or more than one book?
Now it's I have I shared my story in this short
A series of
form.
books. Okay.
In this short form, one of the book that you read exactly, Blue Talks book.
Okay.
This is my like second book when I
Okay.
co-authored there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I did read that. That's awesome. And then, so from all that, you're now helping other women, I guess, particularly,
Yeah, women.
yeah,
Yeah, women.
to kind of sell and be empowered to sell and be empowered to take ownership of their own lives. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, through the content. So you have business. I work precisely with coaches, healers, small business owners, even local. Have several clients with local business. I mean, lashes, very female business
Right.
because I can connect with women thanks to my experience right away, and it's easier for me to deliver the message to them. No offense to men. it's just
None
it's
taken.
just it's just how it works always. You need to find your target audience. I
Yes.
found it. So
Yes. So what's next on your agenda? What's next on your mission? What's next
um,
for you?
I just recently we come up with the 8 ladies together gather community.
Okay.
It's a week club community where we help women to um, sell their products, to be empowered on take their experience, take their talents and gifts and show them to the world. Help through masterminds, through courses. It's all about how to help women for me from now on to be more powerful, be more visible, to gain more money from what they are. Because
Mm.
I strongly believe if I helped other entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, to raise more money, it means I helped other women because it's like it's all connected. They help women through their products where
Mm.
I cannot help them. For example, I'm not a coach, but I can work with a coach and she helps other thousands of women. And I'm some kind of will be in the middle of them because I'm the content marketing thing. So it's like in the middle. There is you, audience, and content is something in the middle. Content that it's something that connects you to the world and show the world this is me and this is what I have.
How can women get in contact with you?
Through social media, of course, because it's content marketing on social media. I'm everywhere. It's like simply my name, Ilona Seddik, without
Okay.
any points, dots, or whatever, just one line. And
So you are on LinkedIn,
yes, and Instagram and
Instagram.
Pinterest and YouTube and TikTok. So welcome.
Well, in 30 seconds or less then, because now we know how to find you, and I'm going to put all those contacts in the description of this video.
Mhm.
30 seconds or less. Tell women who are watching our conversation how they can be empowered. What would be your quick word of advice?
Don't hesitate to start over at any point of your life.
Wow.
Everything can be fixed, everything can work out. There is no limits. sky is the limit, and we are skyrocketing.
I want to get this right. Ilona?
Yeah,
Ilona Seddik. Thank you so much for this conversation. It's been awesome. Thank you so much for
thank
joining
you.
me. For
Thank you.
the
Thank you.
for those of us who are watching, you have a great day. Take care.
Bye bye.